One day there was a sudden and powerful earthquake that shook the earth so badly that the ground split open. In one area, a huge sinkhole appeared, and inside it, the skeletons of 3 people were discovered. What shocked everyone even more was that, when their DNA was tested, it matched perfectly, 100%, with 3 people who were still alive and working in the same area. This raised a big, confusing question. How is this possible? Did these people travel through time for some secret mission and die in the past? Or is there a hidden truth that could turn the whole world upside down? That morning, the earthquake hit a nature reserve with full force. Yoel, who was the director of the reserve and also lived nearby, acted fast. He rushed to his son Neum's room, grabbed him, and quickly took him outside to safety. The earthquake didn't last long, but it was so strong that it stripped away all the soil from a nearby patch of ground, exposing 3 buried human skeletons. As soon as the authorities found out about the skeletons, Detective Chaba and Gabriel hurried to the site to start their investigation. Meanwhile, Yoel took Neum home, trying to calm him down and get him ready for school. At home, all Neum wanted was to finally see a picture of his mother. His mother had died the day he was born, and Yoel had never shown Neum any photos of her, no matter how much Neum asked. But this time, Neum begged him so much that Yoel finally agreed to show the photo. Just as he was about to do it, Detective Chaba called and asked Yoel to come to the excavation site immediately. Meanwhile, the earthquake had also badly damaged the city jail. Inside, a prisoner named Abigail was hurt, but instead of worrying about herself, she started helping the injured prison guards and helped them escape the damaged jail. At the same time, a man named Cole arrived at the site of the sinkhole, but the police stopped him from entering. Suddenly, Detective Chaba recognized him. Years ago, when Yoel's wife died in a terrible accident, Chaba was the detective in charge of the case. Elsewhere, in a nearby town, a famous mentalist named Nico was holding a public session where he would read people's minds. During the session, a girl named Karen came up on stage to have her mind read. As Nico began, he suddenly saw frightening visions. He saw himself shooting Karen and then carrying her body away, wrapped in a cloth. Struggling to hide his shock and fear, Nico managed to end the session without telling anyone about what he had seen. At the jail, Abigail's lawyer comes to visit her. Abigail is accused of killing a man. She claims the man was trying to hurt her, but nobody believes her. People question her story because on the day of the murder, she looks happy with the man in some photos. If he was truly a threat, why would she look happy with him? Meanwhile, scientists in the lab study the skeletons found in the sinkhole. They discover that 2 are men and 1 is a woman. All 3 were shot in the back of the head, and there are strange marks on their skulls, like the bullet exploded inside their brains. Detective Chaba finds this very strange because no bullets like that have ever been made. While examining the skeletons, Chaba notices a wedding ring in the stomach of one skeleton. When they inspect the ring, they see the names Yoel and Hila, his late wife, engraved on it, along with some numbers. Chaba starts to wonder what Yoel's connection is to these mysterious deaths. The case is becoming more confusing. Unaware of all this, Yoel goes to pick up his son Neum from school. Neum's teacher suggests that Yoel should take Neum to visit his mother's grave, since Neum misses her so much. Yoel agrees. But when they get home, Yoel gets a call from Chaba asking him to come to the police station. At the police station, Chaba questions Yoel about the wedding ring. Yoel says that after Hila died, he took off his ring and never saw it again. After saying this, Yoel leaves for home. After Yoel leaves, Gabriel checks Yoel's records and discovers that after Hila's death, Yoel struggled with his mental health and spent a long time in a psychiatric hospital. Back at home, Yoel searches everywhere for his wedding ring, but can't find it. For now, he takes Neum to visit Hila's grave. When they arrive, Yoel is shocked to see that the grave number matches the number engraved on the ring found inside the skeleton. Curious, he checks behind Hila's grave and finds a small hidden compartment with a hard drive inside. He takes the hard drive home with him. After the mind-reading session, Karen takes Nico out for coffee. She wants to ask him why he was acting so strangely. Nico doesn't tell her anything about what happened during the session, but after they talk for a while, he takes her to his house and they become intimate. Meanwhile, Abigail suddenly realizes that the skeletons in the ground must have been discovered by now. She secretly calls someone to let them know about this, which shows that Abigail already knew about those skeletons and was hiding something important. At the forensic lab, the team finds an iron plate attached to the leg bone of the woman's skeleton with a serial number engraved on it. Using this serial number, they identify whose skeleton it is. Detective Chaba is completely shocked to learn that the skeleton belongs to Abigail, the same Abigail who is still alive in prison. No one can explain how a living person's skeleton ended up buried in the ground. Soon, the forensic results come back for the other 2 skeletons as well. Chaba is even more stunned. One skeleton belongs to Nico, the psychiatrist, who is also alive, and the other belongs to Yoel himself. At the same time, Yoel plugs the hard drive into his laptop. He finds a video of himself on it, repeatedly saying that he isn't crazy. Yoel doesn't remember ever recording this video. He goes to talk to a woman about it, and after watching the video, video, she reminds Yoel that he used to work in a theater a long time ago. The video might be from there. Yoel recognizes the place, but he's certain he never made that video. Still, the woman encourages him to visit the theater, and he agrees. On the way to the theater, Yoel starts remembering the past, the day Hila's water broke. He was rushing to take her to the hospital when suddenly another car appeared and they crashed. Yoel was knocked unconscious, and the police only found them at night. By then, Hila had died. But strangely, Neom was found alive in the wreckage, completely unharmed. It was almost like someone had delivered Hila's baby and then disappeared. Now in the present, Gabriel looks at all the evidence and quickly forms a team to solve the mystery of the skeletons. At the same time, Chaba calls Nico and asks him to come to the police station so they can take his DNA and compare it with the DNA from the skeleton. Nico is at home with Karen when he gets the call. He tells Karen about the strange visions he's been having. Karen thinks he's just imagining things and tells him not to worry about it. Meanwhile, Abigail calls a man named Adam to talk about the skeletons. Adam reassures her and tells her not to worry about anything. Elsewhere, Yoel goes to the theater and watches an old movie. While he's there, he notices a man watching him suspiciously. Yoel follows the man, but when he catches up, a police officer mistakes Yoel for a thief and makes him let the man go. By the time the police realize who Yoel is and release him, the mysterious man has already run away. Later that day, Neom goes outside to play. He sees a woman sitting on a chair. It's Hila, his mother. Hila looks shocked to see Neom, and Neom doesn't recognize her at all. In a hospital in the city, a man named Alan sits with his wife Naomi next to their daughter Ella, who has been in a coma for a long time. Naomi is heartbroken and wants to remove Ella's life support, but Alan refuses. Alan owns a big tech company and is willing to do anything to save his daughter. He asks his assistant to find someone who can help bring Ella back to health, no matter the cost. After some time, Alan returns to his daughter Ella's hospital room and thinks he sees her finger move. He calls the doctor, but the doctor checks all the machines and says there was no sign of movement. The doctor apologizes to Alan and leaves. Meanwhile, Gabriel learns more about the strange bullets found with the skeletons. He discovers that this type of bullet is still in development and only a prototype exists. This new information shocks him. Gabriel then calls Yoel to the police station to take another DNA sample and sends him home afterward. When Yoel gets home, Neom is very upset and tells his father about seeing a woman in the garden. Yoel thinks Neom is just making up stories to see his mother's photo again. But this time, Yoel shows Neom old videos of Hila, his late wife. Neom is stunned, recognizing the woman he saw as his mother. Still, Yoel doesn't believe him and starts searching for his wedding ring once more. This time, he finds the ring in the bathroom cabinet and feels a bit of relief. Chaba then discovers that the DNA from Yoel and Nico only matches 80% with the skeletons. To understand this, she goes to talk with a biology professor. He explains that such a match can only happen in rare cases, like with twins. He also mentions a case involving his old friend, Yaqub Suleimani. Yaqub's fingerprints were found at a murder scene, but Yaqub insisted he had never been there. Hearing this, Chaba and Gabriel decide to meet Yaqub for more answers. Elsewhere in the city, a group of masked people enters a building and sends a couple into a room. The couple takes off their masks, confesses their love, and then shoots themselves. When the police arrive, the bodies have vanished. After checking the CCTV footage, the police are shocked to see that after the couple shot each other, their bodies seem to move in reverse, as if time was running backward for them. Early in the morning, Neom wakes up and remembers that his teacher was taking the class on a school trip today. But because Neom overslept, he missed going with everyone else. He tells Yoel, who quickly drives him to the picnic spot to catch up with his classmates. While they're on the way, Neom tells Yoel about a girl named Ella. Neom has never met her, but he's been having dreams about her being trapped in darkness. Yoel tells Neom not to worry about such dreams and drops him off with his classmates before leaving. Coincidentally, Nico and Karen are also visiting the picnic spot. When Nico sees Neom, he feels a strange connection, as if he already knows him, but he doesn't tell Karen about it and just sits nearby with her. Meanwhile, Alan and Naomi are talking with the doctor about their daughter Ella. They remember the day Ella suddenly fainted while playing the flute, which put her into a coma. At the same time, Abigail's lawyer finds out that a skeleton with matching DNA to Abigail has been discovered. Using this information in court, he is able to get Abigail released from jail. Chaba and Gabriel continue discussing Yoel. They talk about how, 9 years ago, after Yoel's car accident, he claimed another car was involved. But when police investigated, there was no evidence of a second car, no tire marks, no broken car parts, nothing. Gabriel finds this very odd because if there really had been another car in the accident, there should have been some trace left behind. After a while, Chaba leaves to go meet Jacob. Meanwhile, Yoel arrives at the police station. At the same time, Abigail is also coming out of jail. When she sees Yoel, she stares at him in a strange way. But Yoel doesn't react or talk to her. He just goes inside to see Gabriel. Inside the police station, Yoel shows Gabriel his wedding ring. He also also gives Gabriel the pen drive he found hidden behind Gila's grave. There's a video clip on the pen drive, but part of the audio is messed up and you can't hear Yoel's name clearly because of static. Gabriel sends that part of the recording to his tech team to fix the audio and asks Yoel to wait. Meanwhile, Chaba finally finds Jakob, but when she tries to talk about the incident from 9 years ago, Jakob refuses. He says the police never believed anything he said back then, and because of that, he ended up spending many years in prison. Chaba feels bad, but there's nothing she can do, so she leaves. On the other side of town, Nico is walking with Karen by a lake. As they get to a bridge, Nico suddenly starts seeing disturbing visions again. This time, he imagines himself pushing Karen's body off the bridge. The vision scares him a lot, so he quickly leaves, shaken and silent. At the same time, Abigail reaches home with her lawyer. While talking to him, she tells him something strange. On the night of the murder she was accused of, she actually saw someone who looked exactly like her, a duplicate. Abigail says it was this duplicate who killed the man, not her. But her lawyer doesn't really believe this story. He drops her off at home and goes to his meeting. Shortly after, Abigail leaves her house without telling anyone. As she's walking down the street, she steals a man's phone. If you've ever had your phone stolen, you know it's a terrible feeling. By the way, has anyone here experienced phone theft before? If so, share your story in the comments below. Alan was still very worried about his daughter Ella. He was desperate to find a cure for her. One day, Alan's assistant tells him about a man named Adam who might be able to help Ella recover. Hearing this, Alan feels hopeful for the first time in a while, so he goes to the port to meet Adam. When Alan meets Adam, Adam agrees to help treat Ella, but asks for a huge amount of money. This makes Alan suspicious, and he starts to think Adam might be a scammer. To check if Adam is real, Alan goes to look at the containers near Adam's house. He's surprised to find a lot of advanced medical equipment stored there. Seeing this, Alan thinks maybe Adam really can help Ella, but he still isn't sure, so he decides not to talk to Adam anymore and returns to the hospital. Meanwhile, Gabriel and Yoel finally get the audio file back after it's been fixed. In the file, Yoel talks about his old professor, Eric Boltzmann, and it seems that only Eric knew what was truly happening in Yoel's life at the time. Yoel is confused by this, but decides he should go see Eric later to get some answers. At the same time, Niam is playing near the lake and wanders into some bushes where he sees Hila again. Hila, who seems confused, asks Niam his name, thinking he might be a lost child. Niam tells her his name, but before they can talk more, Niam's friends call him away. After that, Hila goes to find Yoel, who is nearby, and tells him that they should name their child Niam. Yoel agrees. At this point, it becomes clear that the Hila Niam met was actually from the past. The present and past timelines were somehow crossing over, which is why Niam kept seeing Hila even though she was supposed to be gone. But Niam himself doesn't understand what's really happening. Also, the building where the couple shot each other wasn't in this universe at all. It was in a different universe, where even the living there look completely different. This shows that not only are timelines getting mixed up, but the boundaries between universes are breaking too. From now on, let's call the universe where Chaba has black hair Universe 1, and the universe with the blonde-haired Chaba Universe 2. By now in Universe 1, Yoel has learned about the discovery of a skeleton with his own DNA, and it leaves him completely confused and lost. He decides the only way to get answers is to visit his old professor, Eric. Meanwhile, in Universe 2, Chaba discovers information about the mysterious people who entered that strange building where the couple vanished. Acting quickly, she sends a team of soldiers to raid a nearby house. Inside, a man named Daniel manages to send away his friends, but then calmly surrenders himself to the soldiers without any fight. Back in Universe 1, Yoel arrives home. Niam tells him once again about seeing Hila in the garden, and this time Yoel feels truly unsettled. To find answers, he pulls out his old research papers. Years ago, he wrote about theories of parallel universes and other dimensions. Now, after seeing a skeleton identical to himself, Yoel begins to suspect these strange events might be connected to his own research on parallel universes. Around this time, Chaba from Universe 1 is approached by her ex-boyfriend, who's a journalist. He wants information about the skeletons for his news channel and newspaper, but Chaba refuses to share any details with him. Elsewhere, Adam meets up with Abigail. He hands her an address and tells her to go there. When Abigail brings up the skeletons again, Adam reassures her, saying it's all part of a larger plan and that finding the skeletons will actually help the police in the future. Abigail, although confused, agrees to go along with his instructions. Now Chaba and Yoel go together to visit Professor Eric. Eric listens to all their questions, and then Chaba gets a call from her boss. The boss says the case is officially closed. Since the 3 people whose DNA match the skeletons are still alive, there's no point investigating further. Chaba, however, refuses to give up and tells her ex-boyfriend everything, hoping he'll broadcast the story and bring public attention to the case. After Chaba and Yoel finish talking to Eric, Eric explains his theories about the multiverse and timeline intersections. Sometimes two timelines or even two universes overlap or collide. Eric suspects that not only are timelines intersecting, but entire universes are, and someone from another universe is trying to cross over into theirs. He says this could have opened a portal, causing all the strange events to happen. Eric advises Yoel to let go of his painful past and move forward with his life. But after hearing all this, Yoel starts having intense visions of Hyla and feels as if he's back in a mental hospital. He panics and runs out, collapsing outside. Chaba finds him, takes care of him, and helps him recover. Once Yoel is calm again, he talks to Chaba and reveals that he still blames himself for Hyla's death, which is why he finds it so hard to focus on anything else or move forward. Meanwhile, Nico is at Karen's house with her. While talking, he opens up about his past, how his father was very abusive and would beat him for no reason when he was a child. Because of this, Nico started trying to read people's minds every day, almost as a way to protect himself. Over time, he actually developed real mind-reading abilities. This ability later helped him make a lot of money by reading minds for others. While he's sharing this, Nico notices a gun in Karen's house. It's exactly like the gun he saw in his frightening visions, the one he dreamed about killing Karen with. This scares him, but Karen explains that she used to be a police officer and has a permit for the gun. Even so, Nico stays nervous. Suddenly, they see a news report on TV. The news is about the mysterious skeletons, and they even show Nico's photo with one of the skeletons, which makes Nico even more afraid. However, this public news coverage is exactly what Chaba wanted. It puts pressure on the government so the case can't be closed. Now, the government has to allow a full investigation. In Universe 2, after questioning Daniel, Chaba learns about a secret government project called Project M. It turns out Daniel and his girlfriend shot each other as part of an experiment, but they had technology that could reverse time. Because of this, even after dying, they became alive again. Project M was focused on creating a device with the help of Irina Kaplan and her team that could allow travel to other dimensions. The most shocking part for Chaba is learning that this universe's Yoel was involved in the project. Alan, who is wealthy in this universe, was funding it because his daughter is in a coma, just like Ella in the other universe, and he was willing to do anything, even travel to another universe, to help her. Chaba is shocked to learn about Project M, especially because she holds a high government position and was completely unaware of it. She tries to access Yoel's official records, but discovers they are highly protected by the government. She can't access them, no matter what she tries. With no other options, Chaba decides to visit Hyla, Yoel's wife in Universe 2. In this universe, Hyla survived the accident, but sadly they lost their son Neom. Chaba talks to Hyla and learns that Yoel suddenly disappeared about 6 months ago. Hyla tried to find him, but then she started getting threatening calls telling her to stop searching or she would be killed too. Worried, Hyla hired a private investigator in secret, but even then, all she learned was that Yoel vanished due to a secret government mission, and the government refused to let anyone know about the project. Before Chaba leaves, Hyla gives her a mysterious phone number that she once found in Yoel's pocket. Chaba takes the number and leaves, hoping it might give her a clue. While Nico was walking alone down a road in Universe 1, a group of people suddenly kidnapped him. At the same time, some students nearby were talking about the famous case of the 3 skeletons. 2 of these students believed they had actually seen 2 of those men die with their own eyes, so they decided to go to the police station to report what they knew. However, when they saw Gabriel at the station, they got nervous and tried to leave quietly. But Gabriel noticed them and brought them into the interrogation room for questioning. The students, for their own reasons, decided not to tell Gabriel anything important, so eventually he had no choice but to let them go. A little while later, Karen arrived at the police station looking for Nico, since she hadn't seen him and worried that maybe the police had called him in. But Nico wasn't there. He was being held by the same group of students who kidnapped him. They started questioning Nico, demanding that he admit he was from another universe. Nico was totally confused by their questions. The students then explained that they were told to find Nico by a guy named Daniel, who said he was from another universe too. Daniel told the students that Nico had special powers and had even killed his girlfriend. He said the reason Nico in Universe 1 was having strange visions was because he was experiencing memories from the other universe's Nico. After talking with Nico for a while, the students became sure that this Nico was actually from their universe, so they let him go. Meanwhile, Yoel was digging through his old research and realized something important. Someone must have opened a doorway to their universe from another one. That's what caused the earthquake, and it's also why different realities and timelines were starting to mix. Why Neom kept seeing Hyla even though she was gone. Yoel shared all this with Chaba, but Chaba didn't believe him. She just told Yoel to take care of Neom and left. Yoel was still sure of his research, so he decided to track down the person who'd been following him at the theater. He found the man and learned that he'd been asked by a woman to keep an eye on Yol. Yol sent the woman's phone number to Chaba and asked her to help find her address. Chaba agreed to help. Then the same two students who ran away from Gabriel earlier came back to talk to Chaba privately. They confessed that on New Year's Day, they saw Gabriel kill those two men. That's why they were scared of Gabriel at the police station. Chaba was shocked by this information. She hadn't expected it at all. Chaba went to Gabriel and asked where he was on New Year's Day. Gabriel told her he was with his wife. But when Chaba talked to Gabriel's wife, she learned the truth. Gabriel wasn't with her, but on a mission with Chaba herself. Chaba realized Gabriel had lied. He wasn't with either of them that night. For now, Chaba didn't share this information with Gabriel's wife. In Universe 2, Chaba keeps investigating Yol's past. She discovers that Yol had helped 3 inmates, Nico, Abigail, and Gabriel, get out of jail on bail. After that, all 3 of them disappeared along with Yol. This information makes Chaba feel uneasy. At this point, it's becoming clear that Gabriel from Universe 2 might also be hiding in Universe 1. Now Chaba shifts her focus to Irina, another missing person. She visits Irina's workplace and talks to a woman named Emmanuel, who tells her that Irina has also been missing for 6 months and her phone is switched off. Hearing this, Chaba gets even more worried, realizing that 5 people have now vanished, but no one seems to be actively looking for them. While she's lost in thought, she notices Alan passing by with his daughter in a wheelchair, but she doesn't pay much attention right now. Meanwhile, in Universe 1, as soon as Yol learns the address of the mysterious woman, he heads to her house. When he arrives, a woman greets him warmly, as if she had been expecting him. She takes Yol upstairs where another woman, who looks just like her, is sitting. This woman turns out to be Irina, who had traveled here from another universe. Irina explains her story to Yol. She, Nico, Gabriel, and Abigail all crossed over from another universe together. But after they arrived, Gabriel killed both Nico and Yol of this universe. Only Irina and Abigail managed to escape. What Irina doesn't know is that the police have also found the skeleton of the other universe, Abigail. Elsewhere, Abigail follows Adam's instructions and goes to the address he gave her. There, she meets her biological mother, who abandoned her as a baby. Abigail hopes for acceptance, but her mother is cold and distant. She already has a new family and prefers her other daughter. Feeling heartbroken, Abigail hugs her mother goodbye and leaves, her hopes crushed. Back in Universe 2, Chaba confronts Gabriel in anger, pressing him to finally tell the truth about where he was on New Year's Day. Gabriel admits he was with another woman, but refuses to give her name. Chaba doesn't believe anything he says, and convinced he's lying, has Gabriel arrested and put in jail. Outside the police station, Nico arrives looking terrified. He's afraid Daniel will send someone else to kill him, so he begs the police to lock him up for his own safety. The police refuse, so in a panic, Nico starts acting out, fighting like a movie action hero. Still, the police just kick him out of the station and send him away instead of putting him in jail. Yol brought Irina to Chaba, hoping Irina could convince Chaba that parallel universes were real. While they talked, Irina told Chaba everything. She said she came to this universe to track down criminals from another universe, people who were pretending to do medical treatments but were actually doing illegal activities. But when she arrived, Gabriel, who was working with those criminals, killed 2 of her friends. Only Irina and Abigail managed to escape. Irina also explained how Gabriel's team knew about their arrival. The Yol from Irina's universe used to travel into this universe to try to meet Neum. In his universe, Neum had died in an accident, but Gila survived. Yol hid the pen drive behind Gila's grave in this universe so the truth could be told to Neum here. Hearing all of this, Yol became emotional and left the room. Chaba still didn't believe Irina's story. She got up and walked outside to think. Meanwhile, at home, Neum started having strange visions again as the past and present overlapped. He saw a memory of Yol and Gila in a room from the past. In the vision, Gila was crying because a doctor had said their unborn baby's brain wasn't developing properly and maybe they should end the pregnancy. At first, Gila refused, but eventually Yol convinced her to listen to the doctor and try again for another child. Seeing this, Neum realized that his parents had almost decided not to let him be born. He felt hurt and started to think Yol didn't love him, so he angrily called Yol to talk about it. Yol explained that now, Neum is the most important person in his life, and he loves him deeply. While Yol was on the phone with Neum, he saw Gabriel walking into Irina's room. A little later, Gabriel left. Then Yol noticed blood on the door handle. When he checked inside, he found Irina dead. She had been stabbed by Gabriel. It became clear to Yol that this was actually the Gabriel from the other universe, not the one in prison. Chaba, who still didn't believe believe in parallel universes, suspected Yoel had killed Irina. She took Yoel to see Gabriel in his cell to prove that Gabriel was locked up, but Yoel insisted they check the CCTV footage. When Chaba saw the video, she was shocked. The footage clearly showed a different Gabriel entering Irina's room. Realizing her mistake, Chaba immediately released the real Gabriel from prison, and together they started thinking about what to do next. Suddenly, Chaba remembered something and looked through Abigail's report file. She realized that the skeleton they had found was actually from the Abigail of this universe, not the one who had escaped with Irina. The wound on her head was caused by a blow from an outside object, meaning Abigail from the other universe had killed her double and taken her place in this world. Knowing this, Chaba quickly found Abigail, who was sitting outside a house crying. Abigail was heartbroken because she thought coming to this universe would finally bring her the love of a mother. But just like in her own universe, this universe's mother had also abandoned her as a child. Chaba arrested her. When Chaba arrives in Universe 2, she tells Daniel about Irina's disappearance. Daniel quickly realizes that everyone must have traveled to Universe 1. He asks Chaba for her laptop to try and track them down, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't find them. Soon, however, Daniel discovers records of the very first people who used the universe traveling machine. These people were Adam, Jacob, and Gabriel. Jacob was the one who built the machine, and after using it, he returned to his own universe. But Adam and Gabriel stayed in the other world. Adam began using this technology to make money from wealthy people, promising to bring back their lost children from another universe in exchange for a lot of money. When Chaba learns all this, she realizes that everything happening now is really about bringing Alan's daughter, Ella, back from another universe. She confronts Alan, and Alan finally admits it's true. He also reveals that Dr. Emmanuel has been secretly helping them the entire time. Chaba then secretly hides a microphone under her desk before leaving. As soon as she leaves, Alan calls Emmanuel and tells her everything Chaba knows. Emmanuel tells Alan to stay calm. She understands now that they must hurry up and finish their mission. Emmanuel rushes to Jacob and asks him to open the portal to the other universe. Jacob refuses at first. He doesn't want to do anything illegal anymore, but Emmanuel blackmails him. She threatens to expose a secret from his past, that years ago, Jacob from Universe 2 went to Universe 1, killed someone, and caused the Jacob in Universe 1 to go to jail for it. Afraid, Jacob agrees to help her. Emmanuel then quickly messages Adam, saying they must complete the mission right away because Jacob will only help one last time. Thanks to the hidden microphone, Chaba hears everything they're planning. Meanwhile, in Universe 1, Adam receives Emmanuel's urgent message. He immediately tells Abigail, who is now in jail, to prepare for the mission to end. Knowing this is her last chance to get back to her universe, Abigail injures herself on purpose, so she'll be sent to the hospital. Nico had stopped meeting Karen completely because he was afraid he might turn into the darker version of himself from Universe 2. He worried that the same fate or mistakes could happen to him, but Karen cared about him and didn't want him to stay scared. She visited Nico in person and encouraged him to face his fear. She told him to go to the skeleton of the other Nico and confront his past. Nico listened to her advice. He went to the place where the skeleton of Universe 2's Nico was kept. He gently touched the bones. Suddenly, he was flooded with visions, memories from the other universe. In these visions, he saw that the other Nico had not meant to kill Karen. In Universe 2, Karen had angrily broken up with Nico. Later, when Nico went to apologize, Karen pointed a gun at him in fear or anger. In the struggle, the gun went off by accident and Karen was shot. Scared and not knowing what to do, Nico threw Karen's body off the bridge to hide what happened. Now, the Nico from Universe 1 understood the truth. He also saw new visions, this time of Gabriel shooting and killing Yoel and Nico in the other universe. Right before dying, Yoel managed to swallow his wedding ring so his body could be identified later. Meanwhile, Neum went on another picnic with his teacher. This time, he wandered off alone into the forest, hoping to see his mother again, but he accidentally ended up in a dangerous mine area. His teacher, realizing the danger, called for help, and the bomb squad rushed to rescue Neum. During the rescue, a bomb exploded, and a bomb squad member was thrown away by the blast. The news quickly spread everywhere on TV. Yoel saw the breaking news and immediately rushed out, driving quickly to the scene to save his son. But as he drove, a strange thing happened. The timelines of the past and future began to overlap and collide. Yoel found himself driving on a one-way road at the exact moment in the past when he was rushing Gila to the hospital after her water broke. Both versions of Yoel, past and future, were driving fast on the same road. Suddenly, their cars crashed into each other. The past Yoel lost consciousness right away from the crash, but the future Yoel realized the truth. 9 years ago, his own car accident had been caused by himself through a collision across timelines. Now, knowing what would happen, the future Yoel quickly went to help Gila, who was in serious condition. He delivered the baby himself, making sure events happened exactly as they were meant to, because change changing anything might make things worse. Once the timeline set itself right again, the future Yoel collapsed too. This explained everything. Why there were only his own tire marks at the accident scene years ago, and why there was never any sign of another car. The accident had been a collision between two timelines of the same person, and it was Yoel himself who delivered his wife in that fateful moment. After the timeline crash, Yoel wakes up in the hospital and sees Neom sitting beside him. Yoel is overwhelmed with emotion and starts crying, realizing how precious Neom is to him. Meanwhile, in the other universe, Alan is overjoyed because his daughter Ella has suddenly recovered on her own. But back in Universe 1, Alan and Naomi are still heartbroken as Ella remains in a coma. While Yoel is recovering, Neom, who is staying in the same hospital, visits Alan and Naomi. Seeing their sadness, Neom asks to see Ella. After spending some quiet time with her, Neom gently tells Alan and Naomi that it's not right to keep someone tied to life if it only brings pain. Hearing this wise advice from a child, Alan finally decides to let Ella go and agrees to remove her life support, ending her suffering. In Universe 2, even though Ella is now healthy, the portal to the other universe still hasn't opened, which means Adam and Abigail can't return home. This makes Chaba of Universe 2 very uneasy. She goes to talk to Alan again and learns something shocking. Alan never planned to bring Ella from the other universe. The government had their own secret ways to try and heal Ella, and the portal project was just a cover for something else. Chaba realizes with a shock that the real mission wasn't about Ella at all, it was about Neom, and Gila was the one behind it all. Chaba confronts Gila, who admits that she always knew Yoel had a way to travel between universes and that Neom was still alive in the other world. Gila kept pushing Yoel to bring Neom into her universe, but Yoel always refused. So Gila secretly learned more about the project and found Adam, who tricked everyone and got Abigail onto his team with Gabriel's help. Their plan was to bring Neom from the other universe to this one, but Gila knew Yoel would never agree, so she secretly had Gabriel kill Yoel. After the accident 9 years ago, Yoel and Gila's relationship had fallen apart, and they often fought. Chaba is stunned by the truth and realizes the situation is urgent. Abigail and Adam will try to bring Neom into Universe 2 very soon. Chaba wants to stop Gila, but before she can act, Gila knocks Chaba out and heads straight to the port, where Abigail is also about to arrive. At the same time, in Universe 1, Neom is still in the hospital, but Abigail is there too. Everything is going exactly as she and Adam planned. Abigail cleverly avoids the police, changes her clothes, and quickly goes to Neom. She promises Neom that she'll take him to see his mother. Neom, still hoping to see Gila, trusts her and goes with Abigail towards the port. Adam is already waiting at the port with a boat. The plan is for the portal to open out in the ocean. Once Neom is in the boat, Adam and Abigail send a signal to Emmanuel, who activates the portal again. As soon as the portal opens, huge earthquakes shake Universe 1. Alan and Naomi, heartbroken, hold Ella's lifeless body close, while Yoel runs everywhere searching for Neom. But no matter where he looks, Yoel can't find his son. Finally, he breaks down in tears, devastated. By this time, Adam and Abigail have already taken Neom through the portal to another dimension, where Gila is waiting. Gila is overjoyed to finally see Neom and takes him with her into the new world. Soon after, Chaba arrives at the hospital and learns what happened. She comforts Yoel, promising him that no matter what, she'll do everything she can to find Neom and bring him back. But whether she'll succeed or not, no one knows, because this was only the first season of the story and the second season never came out. But if the second season is ever released, do you want me to explain it too? Please let me know in the comments. And if this story blew your mind, share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the explanation, don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications for more such amazing story breakdowns. I'll keep bringing you more mind-bending stories. Until next time, tada, goodbye.